Okay, I'm live. Okay, so this is kind of a first for me, and I've never actually done a review like this, so just bear with me. But my God, that pay per view. Hold up, I just real quick. Um, I just sat through a pay per view. NXT Takeover New York. It's the NXT Takeover paper. It's the NXT pay per view. Before WrestleMania, which is on Sunday. I'm actually not gonna be able to watch WrestleMania on Sunday. Because I'm going to see a Phantom of the Opera of the playoffs. But my God, that was a pay per view. That was a hell of a pay per view. I'm just running through it real quick because I feel like okay. So basically, um, what's happening is basically it's like this giant. I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to say here. Um, like no, so there's gonna be there's gonna be really no site here. It's mainly just me with a little picture here. Um, so I'm going to save here and share, copy, paste. I'm pasting it in there so that you guys can catch it. I am exhausted after this. It was an exhausting pay per view. That it hurt. It didn't hurt seeing that pay per view, but that was a lot happening in one pay per view. Basically, every match was for a title, that's good. I like pay per views like that, where basically every match means something. So it's like, let's just get a rundown here. Aleister Black and Ricochet lost their attempt at the NXT Tag Team Championships, NXT Tag Team titles against the War Raiders. And it's pretty obvious now that the War Raiders are going to be, not the War Raiders, that Ricochet and Aleister Black are going up to the main roster, or Raw and SmackDown. They're going up to the main roster. And so basically, they got a huge standing ovation. The War Raiders and Ricochet and Aleister Black hugged it out. The match was about 25 minutes. It was insane. Basically, all the entire pay per view was just insane. People were out of their minds. Like it was crazy. It was just a crazy night. So you have Aleister Black and Ricochet losing. War Raiders retaining their championships against Aleister Black and Ricochet. And then the next match was for the North American Championship. It was Velveteen Dream versus Matt Riddle. Velveteen Dream retained with this wicked pin counter. It was insane. It was a nasty pin. That was a nasty pin counter. Matt Riddle had him in an arm breaker, right? He got whacked in the junk, right? Like completely arm straight to the package. He took that just without anything, turned it right into an arm breaker, and then had him like popped up like on his stomach with his arm like twisted back and basically, here's what he does. He just goes and he looks at Matt Riddle. Velveteen Dream looks at Matt Riddle, spins him around, shoulders to the mat, and pins him for the champion to retain the title. That was just insanity right there. And I asked a question. Are you guys hearing me? I know. So basically, that's what happened there. There was a massive, there was a large, it was an insane amount of just like stuff in that pay per view. That was just an insane amount of like what am I thinking? Just like energy in that match. That match was really cool because Velveteen Dream is just a massive, just a massive tease. So basically, like everything he does is just a massive giant. He just doesn't care. It's hilarious. Um, so there's that, and so the next match was who is it? But next match was the Fatal 4-Way for the Women's Championship. And, what's her name? Queen of Spades, what's her name? I'll look it up. Shayna Baszler, that's it. And Shayna Baszler, she retained in a balls out match. That was a very, very, very good match. It was solid for like the situation that the girls were in. This whole situation, it was basically like everything was just getting like put against them because like the crowd was white hot the entire night. We were thinking like it was gonna be something like a moment of like where like everybody's getting super tired at this point, and the Ricochet Aleister Black tag match, that was massive. The Velveteen Dream Matt Riddle match had some big moments there, and basically, but they did. It kept going. There was some funny parts that I'll talk about a little bit later. I'll just talk about it. Where one of the competitors was a girl named Bianca Belair, and one of her things is that she blows people kisses. That's like part of her gimmick, and basically what they did was there were two people named Io Shirai and Kairi Sane, and both of them are they're both from Japan. They're both our childhood friends. So they did this thing where she blows them a kiss. Right? So she blows the kiss, right? And they grab the kiss from midair, like crinkle it up into a ball, and and then Carrie throws it to Io Shirai, who acts like she like hits it with a baseball bat and like knocks it out of the park. I started laughing my head off. There was also a strange funk moment on Mauro Ranallo, one of the commentators, on his part, where he just said some nutty shit. Like he was just like, she's treating the women's division like some pink princess diaper, and I'm like, what are you saying? Like, I don't understand. So basically, it was that. That match was pretty good. Shayna Baszler, she retained. So now we go on to the UK Championship match. And this match actually is getting. I'm going to talk about my rating system at the end of this. I'm going to rate every match, but basically, this match went on too long, and that's my only problem with it. It went too long, and it killed my interest. And by the time I had it, like the time I was cool with it, it was only like halfway through, and it was Pete Dunne versus a guy named Walter, and Walter won, which I wasn't expecting, but actually I was expecting it with Pete Dunne having a 685-day title reign. Yes, that's 685 days with the title. because he never defends it. But we'll get to that a little bit later. So basically, he had this 35-minute match with Walter for literally no reason. And my friend and I was watching it with a friend of mine, and we just talked the whole thing. We were just talking random shit the whole thing because we got tired of the match. Like, it was tiring. Like, nobody wants to watch a match that long. Nobody wants to see a match that's that long unless you're like, what? Unless you're like really into like John Cena versus Shawn Michaels for some reason. Like, nobody likes that. I wanted that match to be quick and dirty and over with, but it went on for like 30 minutes and it was annoying. So that match actually gets a drop in score for that. But the next match, the final match, the next match is the main event for the vacant NXT Championship, and there's some backstory things to go into this match. So basically, the original champion was Tommaso Ciampa. It was supposed to be Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT Championship at TakeOver New York, which is what the pay-per-view was today. But basically, Tommaso Ciampa had to get neck surgery, and he's going to be out of wrestling for about a year. Like, he's gone. Like, he's out. Like, he cannot wrestle anymore. So basically, they have him. He has to relinquish the title because he can't defend it for 30 days. So if you can't defend the title for 30, like if you don't defend the title for over 30 days, you're supposed to be forced to relinquish it, and they are forcing him. They have forced him to relinquish it. So they had this fatal 5-way on NXT to determine who would get their shot at the title at NXT Takeover New York, and Adam Cole won that match. So basically, they give it to so it's Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole in a 2 out of 3 falls match, meaning that you have to pin somebody. So basically, it's like a best of 3, but it's in the same match, to where as soon as one pinfall happens, the match restarts with one person having a point. So one person has to be pinned or submitted twice to win. And this is exactly what happened. It went to a third. They split it. They split it up. And it was just, there's so much to talk about in this match. It's just beyond words. The match was beyond words. The match was just incredible. There was just so much to talk about. The part where Johnny Gargano started bleeding because he got his face mashed into the ring post. The table not breaking, the Undisputed Era coming in, the multiple pinfalls that weren't counted, the multiple tap outs that weren't counted because the ref was distracted or the ref was out, or the crazy flippy shit that Johnny Gargano does. The Adam Cole literally kicking Johnny Gargano so hard that like blood starts, like I saw a little bit of blood like spurt out from the wound in Johnny Gargano's head. Like people getting the literal snot kicked out of them, and the match went on for like 35 minutes, and it was a barn burner. So let me go through my rating system real quick. So my rating system goes from 0 stars to 5 stars. Typically, you'll see what happens at the end. So 0 being a horrible match, like it wasn't even a match, like it was a disaster. 5 being Matt Classic, give him match of the year right now. So let's just go through the list real quick, and then I'll be done with this. So first match, Ricochet and Aleister Black versus War Raiders for the NXT Tag Team Championships, gets a 4 out of 5 stars in my ranking. On my book, it was perfect. It was perfect length. There was a part in the middle there where Aleister Black started breaking character, and I wasn't expecting that, so that kind of gets a little drop there. That's why it's not 4.5 or 5, but it still gets me there. That's a 4-star match in my books. Second, Velveteen Dream versus Matt Riddle. I love the chemistry. This one gets a 4 out of 5, in my opinion, in my book. Again, so actually, it gets like a 4. It's like 4.25 out of 5 in my book because I love Velveteen Dream's character, and I love his chemistry. I love his charisma. He's an absolute magnet, and like he is a power magnet, and it's amazing. So he gets my vote there. And I like how he retained. I love Matt Riddle with his amazing defense. Um, but like Matt Riddle's amazing offense, Velveteen Dream's offense and defense, and his entrance is gold. He came out in like this like Egyptian sedan, but he was dressed like the Statue of Liberty. It was amazing. Um, so like that gets it in my book, but like the match was a perfect length. Just it was good. I liked it. 4.25 out of 5, and it doesn't get 5 because it wasn't anything crazy. Next match is the women's match, the women's fatal 4-way. This match actually gets a 3.5 out of 5 for me because it was just a bit confusing for me to try to sit through. There was too much happening. I typically don't like fatal 4-ways, and I am a bit biased against fatal 4-ways just because I don't like them. I don't like the fact that there was a literal pay-per-view based off of them, and I'm sort of basing my rating for this match on something it had no power over, which I think is mean, but it makes a ton of sense because like if you're gonna have a fatal 4-way, which was cool. I like how Shayna Baszler came back and made Bianca Belair tap, and all this other stuff. And I like the mystery behind what's actually happening with Shayna Baszler because she is a full blown heel, and Bianca Belair is a full blown heel. So a heel pinning a heel typically means there's going to be some sort of turn there, but I don't know. I really don't know what to do there. So, but the match was just okay. And since it wasn't the highest quality, I'm not expecting the highest quality from like a mid card match like that. So like, it made my expectations 3.5 out of 5. Now, Pete Dunne versus Walter is a very interesting situation because I love Pete Dunne. Haven't seen Walter yet. The match was good, but the length of time the match took ruined it. The match literally took like 30 minutes, and it was just too long and boring, and just like there was too little going on at a time, and then there's just points where like everything's happening in your face at once. It was confusing, so I didn't really like it. And it gets a big knock for that. The physicality was good when it was physical. The match was meant to be physical. They don't call Pete Dunne the bruiserweight for nothing. Like, he is a bruising guy. He can give you physical bruises. He is a good guy. He's a good hitter. But like, really, like that match was too long. Walter won, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with Pete Dunne losing a 685-day title streak. I like that. He was the first ever UK champion, and he never defended it. So I'm thinking if Walter defends it a little bit more, that'll be good. That's good for the title as well. So I'm fine with that. But like, let's see what else I can talk about. Whatever, 3 out of 5 because it was just too long. Okay, then the last match is Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano for the NXT World Title, for the NXT Championship. This match, I have to create stars for this match. It gets a 5.5 out of 5. Like, it gets beyond a 5-star because of just how chaotic the whole match was all the time. Like, I understand. I docked points off for Pete Dunne Walter because it wasn't chaotic enough. There was too much boring headlock, random punches here and there. I didn't like the way it was done. But Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano had that chemistry. It clicked. As soon as it started, I felt the connection. There was something magical happening in that arena, and you could feel it. The crowd was nuclear white hot the entire time. When a crowd it's a New York crowd. I was expecting, it's a Brooklyn crowd, and Brooklyn crowds are always hot. Like, hot. But I wasn't expecting it to be white hot like that. I was expecting it to be like more along the lines of like a, hey, cool, yay, boo, yay, boo. I didn't realize just how much Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano could take control of a hot crowd and just make them nuclear. And I loved it. I loved everything about this match. Everything about it was cool. From the interference, kicking out of interference, the table not breaking, throwing people into ring posts, kicking people so hard in the head that blood comes out of the wound in their eyebrow. Like, what are you going to do? How are you going to fix that? How are you going to go past that? You can't. It gets a 5. It gets a 5 out of 5 in my book. But then, the ending, Johnny Gargano going from ultimate underdog, and I'm going to quote my best friend on this, from ultimate underdog to ultimate champion, Johnny Gargano achieves his dream. Easily 5.5 or 6 out of 5 material. I don't feel like I can give it 6 out of 5 though, because I think it did go a tiny bit too long. So I have to sort of dock it there. 5.75 out of 5 is my official rating. 5.75 out of 5 for this match. Match of the year contender right there. And it's sort of my review of this is just my quick little rundown review of NXT Takeover New York. I'm gonna go. It's a much deserved rest in Discord right now. I'll be back tomorrow. But bye everybody. This is Cassie Swaterson signing off. Love you all, and good night everybody.